Welcome to The Art of Dress. Thank you for coming. Thank you for subscribing. Today we're going to look at the true romantic style as embodied by the fabulous Gigi Hadid. Gigi Hadid is a wonderful example of the true romantic, but she is a particular kind of true romantic because there are actually two versions insofar as the silhouette is concerned. So if you think about a silhouette, you can either be a narrow silhouette, an alpha silhouette, or you can be an open silhouette. I call that an omega silhouette, where your clothing stands away a little bit from your body. But four of the styles actually mix up the silhouettes, and one version of the style will wear fitted on top and then open on the bottom, and the other the reverse. So Gigi Hadid is a harmonic true romantic, and the harmonic true romantic is open on the top, or mega silhouette on top, and fitted on the bottom, which is a silhouette that Gigi Hadid has pretty much made famous. But there's a lot more going on with the true romantic than just the silhouette. So when I was trying to think about how to describe the energy of the true romantic, or you could call it the inspiration, what I came to is that it's really connected to the sun and the day. So let me show you what I mean by that, because that might sound a little cryptic. I found this old-fashioned sundial. And this picture of the sundial shows quite a few things about the true romantic. To start with, when you see the sun's face, and then the layer of clouds, and then the sun, the golden light around it, it's like concentric rings, circling rings. So that's the first aspect of the true romantic. The second aspect is the way, if you look at the way the rays are portrayed, streaming out in these kind of gently curving lines. That is the second aspect of the true romantic style. And the third is, if you look at the line that's coming out of the sun's forehead. So the way a sundial works, in case you haven't used one, is there's always some kind of thing protruding out. Either it can be made of stone or whatever it is, metal. And that protuberance casts a shadow. And the shadow is often long and straight. So what this is illustrating is that not only are there short and curved lines in the true romantic, at the same time, there are also straight lines that tend to be long straight lines. So both kinds of lines hopefully present in every outfit. So how does Gigi Hadid embody this? Well, to start with, the way she poses, the way she holds her arms, naturally she encircles herself, as you see here. And she does the same thing with her everyday clothes. She'll frequently wear her jacket down around off her shoulders, or at least one shoulder, and then she'll use that to form that circle. And that moves over into her professional poses. As you see here in her professional pose, the jacket is off her shoulder, and then she is holding it in such a way that its softness allows it to form these rings around her, just like the sun. Now, in every case, with almost all of her outfits, especially when she dresses herself, you see that she allows her top to have this swing effect, this kind of like trapeze line, and that's like the sun rays streaming out. And then in addition to that, she has a scoop. She wears a scoop neckline. That is her neckline. Now, a scoop neckline actually means something. Every style that wears a scoop neckline has something in common. And really there are only three. And what they have in common is a kind of a relaxed attitude, kind of a not too fussy, not too worried about it. And their aesthetic has to look like it wasn't a big deal to throw this together. It just kind of happened that way. And this creates kind of a dilemma in a certain way for the true romantic, because to wear a lot of accessories then is to look too put together, more put together than they need to look. So how do they get the detail? Because this is a high detail style. So the answer is often, or the most common answer, is to wear detail in the fabrics, especially on top. And the reason for it being on top is because the focal point is at the chest above the waist. So most of the design emphasis in an outfit needs to be above the waist. But here you see that the detail of her top is combining with the texture to give her the look, a really fantastic look. And then it also swings out like we were talking about. But even the jacket and the sleeves of the jacket, all above the waist, have a lot of detail in it. So it answers this dilemma of how to get this detail within the context of the true romantic being an air style. Even in her everyday wear, in her like very relaxed wear, Gigi often finds solutions. So here what you see is the first layering of print, which also looks like detail and texture at her shoulder, and then it's repeated down at the bottom of her arm, and then another layer of detail through the bottom of the sleeve, but forming the rings that we talked about. And then also it's very open in silhouette. So her open silhouette, her omega silhouette, is above her waist, and it's very soft, and it has just so many qualities. And also it's one of her colors, just amazing. And then a fitted short. So omega on top and fitted on the bottom, and still the rings. It's just, and looks like an air quality, not too fussy, just amazing. In her more polished clothes, she does many of the same things. So to start with, the rounded neckline, and then if you look at the top, it's not too fitted, and then so it gives a little bit to start with that swing idea, but then she wears her jacket over her shoulders. That reinforces the swing. And since her fabrics are soft as well as lightweight, it's very effective. One more thing I wanted to point out is that Gigi is really well known for wearing monochromatic outfits, because the true romantic is a monochromatic style. And a monochromatic outfit is not good for everyone, but for the true romantic, it's very empowering and very strengthening. So this offers so many aspects of her style. And here you see it in action, where the swing of the jacket is really effective for her with her omega on top. Another aspect of this is she's wearing to complete the monochromatic, she's wearing a light colored boot. So the whole outfit is very gentle and monochromatic in tone. So this outfit shows one other thing I wanted to point out, and that is the line of her sleeve and her pant, because they always match. So if you notice, the sleeve is not fitted because this is an omega style. And but it does open out slightly, just slightly at the wrist. And that's her best sleeve line. And then, so it's a straight line, but with this tiny little opening out at the wrist. And the same, so it's kind of like finishes with that little bit of a swing. And the same thing with her pant. If her pant were full length, all the way like to ankle, it would open out at the ankle. But as a crop, it opens out just at the base of the line. Very, very cute. Here we see a top that shows her scoop neck and also marks her focal point at the chest. But it does a lot of other things as well. It's an interesting example of how she gets this omega silhouette on top. So to start with, what she has is those, the first thing you notice in this top is the fringe. So the fringe is very kind of loose and not too kempt. It's very kind of relaxed. So there's the air style. And then another thing about it is it has a slight sheen. As I mentioned, the harmonic, she's harmonic, and the harmonic wears shine, but not a lot. Shine for the harmonic does not mean brilliant shine. It means a low level of sheen, as you see here. And then that shine is picked up in the belt. And the belt is tied kind of loosely and almost like haphazardly, air style. And then the shine reinforces the shine in the fringe, so you have rhythm of ornament. And you also have rhythm of ornament in another way, and that is that the belt is basically the same size as that ribbon that's running through the top. And so the same size and kind of textury a little bit like the fringe. So it's just very well done. And then as I mentioned, that the ribbon is forming the rings down her body and opening out her silhouette in the process. This is really the style, especially this version of it, that can wear off the shoulder, and even when the line of like a deconstructed silhouette where the line of the sleeve falls off the shoulder because it opens out the silhouette. And the true romantic is actually capable of wearing the most omega silhouette of all. This is another example of a similar kind of way of forming the rings, except now it's done with the ruffle. So the ruffle is doing so many things. So to start with, there's the ruffled edge at the neck, and then that's repeated where the ruffle is connected to her blouse, and then that's repeated at the base of the ruffle. So you have the rings being formed. And then it also establishes that kind of streaming out kind of look, that swing look. And then it also has shine worked into it for the harmonic aspect of the true romantic. So harmonic is one of 4 possible ways of experiencing your style, and in Gigi's case, this is hers. And then lastly, this is an example of a really, as I mentioned, it's not only defining the circular aspect of her neckline, but defining her focal point as well. Here's another one that even shows more strongly a way of achieving not only the rings, but also the air quality, that kind of relaxed, don't try too hard quality of the true romantic. So the first layer of ring is like the collar, and the second layer not only develops the ringed effect, but also marks her focal point and establishes the circular neckline. And then notice that the third one, the third little layer there is very relaxed and soft, and it kind of drops off. And so not only is that the soft quality of her fabrics, but also the air nature of this style. And then this is also an example of not too high level of sheen worked in that's really effective for her. Now, Gigi Hadid has so many ways of showing that I couldn't even show them all, but this is one of my favorites. So here she has a lace collar, a wide lace collar, very appropriate for showing the emphasis at the top of her silhouette, and also like her focal point, but also that opening out this open omega line on the top of her silhouette. And what you can see here is the way the lace is pieced together is it's forming the rings, and then the last layer of the little fringe is very gentle and sort of not too defined, so very relaxed for her. And then the way she's wearing it right at her focal point in front, and giving it the maximum off the shoulder, so it gives it the maximum impact of width on top. Very effective. And she does something else in this case that was so effective. So here she has a sheath, a little sheath dress, which is, has texture and some shine. That's good. But what she had is this over this jacket that was really soft fabric, and it had a ruffle at the neck. So what she did is she wore it off her shoulders and did that circling thing, which made the ruffle much more powerful and also made her silhouette omega on top. And it took a dress and just turned it into something really spectacular. So congratulations, Gigi, she's amazing. And here's an example of when she's walking the runway, how her living into her style kind of bleeds over into the stylists that do the shows, because look at this great dress for her. First of all, a lot of detail, and so she carries that extremely well. And then the motif is right at her focal point. amazing. And then it has shine worked into it, which is reinforced by the shine at the neckline that is picked up again at her waist. Okay, perfect. The rhythm of ornament that I call it, repeating and matching. And then the final thing is the way this skirt is attached at the waist, the overskirt kind of finishes that trapeze line, that swing line for her, for the top of her silhouette. Just so cute. But my favorite dress, and this is the final exhibit of Gigi Hadid, is this amazing dress that she picked out, and it does so many things. So first of all, the petals are basically running horizontally at the top of her silhouette, so that opens it out. And 3 of the petals finish right at her focal point, and that's reinforced again where her sleeve starts, on her arm, right at her focal point. And then the petals themselves, I should say, are a detail, and it's re-embroidered, and it's a little bit shiny, and it's in a color that is a knockout color for her because beige is her prime neutral. And then as the petals move down her body, they change in orientation. So when it gets to the lower half of her silhouette and down her leg, now they're vertical. So the omega line on top with the horizontal and the vertical line on the bottom with the petals forming that narrow silhouette on her leg. And so it's just fantastic. And then the dress is like 2 dresses because the change in coloration means that the blue forms just like an aura again, and then she has the dress that has omega and alpha, and respecting her focal point and forming those rings by the placement, by the way the petals are formed. Just so many things, and so effective. And as you can see, she looks stunning. So thank you so much for sharing the true romantic style with Gigi Hadid with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. We are coming to the end of the first series of the Art of Dress with style profiles, and the last one we're going to do is the true classic. So that is next. So I look forward to seeing you again, and thank you again, and thank you for subscribing, and take care.